Well, hello everyone. Hello. Welcome to Future Focus Coaching and Wellness, our inspired living show. My name is Shenita and I'm your host for tonight. And tonight we have an amazing guest. Her name is Tya Eachus. Now, Tya is an amazing Reiki healer, meditation guide, intuitive reader, psychic medium, and past life regression facilitator. She uses quantum healing hypnosis technique and she's level 2. Now, Tia works with her clients and she helps them connect to their higher selves, their guardian angels, spirit guides, and source energy. And through her spiritual gifts, Tia is able to tap into the client chakras to clear, balance, and align the energy fields. And she also translates the messages given to her by the chakras to help her clients tune into what their body wants them to understand and to heal. And so, without further ado, welcome, Tia. Thank you. A round of applause.
Thank you so much, Shenita, for having me with you tonight.
I'm so excited that you were just willing to do this and be here with us and share all these amazing things. Now, as we talk backstage, a lot of these modalities that you are so proficient at doing, I'm brand new to them. So that was one of the major reasons why I was grateful that you said, yes, let's talk. So, can you explain for our viewers the what is Reiki, hypnosis, QHHT, all those great things?
Sure. Okay, so let's start with Reiki. Reiki is a Japanese relaxation technique where the practitioner taps into the energy field of the client to help them relax, help them heal, help them connect to their higher selves, and clear any energy blockages in their body. And it just restores them. I had a client today and she said it beautifully. She said, I feel like one. So we just cleared everything and we helped her just feel like herself again and feel connected instead of scattered. So that's Reiki. And what QHHT and hypnosis is actually, QHHT stands for Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. And it was developed by Dolores Cannon. She's an author. She's written many books, and she was a traditional hypnotherapist. And back in the 60s, she was on a military base. Her husband was in the military, and the doctor came to her and had a client who couldn't lose weight. And he said, can you try to hypnotize her and see if you can help her? Well, when she went through her regular hypnosis, the client jumped into a past life, and it startled Dolores, but it put her on this path to helping people heal in their present day life. When they learn about traumas from their past lives, they relive them through the hypnosis technique and clear them so they're not affecting that issue, that trauma from a past life is not affecting the person anymore in the present day life. It integrates the two and it's very healing.
Wow. Now, interestingly enough, I have heard of Dolores Cannon before, and I'm even familiar with her daughter. Yes, her daughter's work, Julia Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing how years ago I heard of her work, Dolores's work, and in passing. And then fast forward several years, I meet you and I get connected with this. And I mean, from my understanding, Dolores did this at a time when this kind of work was just considered far out there.
Yeah, it was far out for her too. It just happened spontaneously. So she was just as surprised as everybody else um, when she shared that story and with the client. But then she's grown from there. If anyone is interested in learning about Dolores Cannon's work, I would say the first book to start with, it's also on Audible, is Between Death and Life by Dolores Cannon. It talks about her story and how she came upon this technique and how she developed the technique and a lot of really great information on how she's helped people heal and how her clients have given her information to help the world heal and to bring light to the world.
So I know that you are the group administrator and founder of Holistic Pathways to Healing.
Hmm.
And I love your philosophy that you, like me, believe that there are multiple pathways to healing. And so, could you share with us your journey to Dolores's work and the impact that it's had on your life?
Yes. Okay. So actually, I learned about past life regression many years ago through the work of Brian Weiss. So he wrote a book called Many Lives, Many Masters. I grew up in Miami Beach, and he was actually chief of staff's chief of psychiatry at a hospital, a major hospital in Miami Beach called Mount Sinai. And he didn't believe in any of this. He was a typical scientist, and he regressed his patient Catherine, and he was just going back doing a regression back to her childhood, and she popped into a past life. So I've always been intrigued with past life regression. I always had an interest in it. Later on in life, I started seeing past lives when I did Reiki on my clients. I don't see it for everybody. It's just when the higher up, so to speak, when the client's divine team wants me to see it, they show it to me. I saw it today in one of my clients. So I've always been fascinated by it, and I wanted to learn more. And I never heard of QHHT. And I do monthly meditations, chakra clearing meditations. And one of my clients asked me, "Do you know a QHHT practitioner in Greenville?" And I said, "What's QHHT?" And she told me, and I looked it up and I took the course, and I've just been going from there. And I would just like the audience to know, in when you study QHHT, you need 25 volunteers, and the sessions are 5 hours long. So it's quite a bit of work. And Shenita was brave enough to volunteer, be one of my volunteers, and that's how she met and how we met. And she had an amazing session. Amazing. I was blown away by that session. It was incredible. So I just found out from somebody like that, just asking me, joining one of my groups, and it's just been really eye opening for me. Never heard of Dolores Cannon. I only knew Brian Weiss, and it's just been great.
Well, all I can say is I've always had a fascination and, to be honest, a healthy level of skepticism when it comes to hypnosis. I just always felt like I couldn't be put under hypnosis. And so, but fast forward to the time when I met you, I was really shocked and surprised at how our session went. And I just said I was going to go in with an open minded heart, and the rest is history. But growing up, could you tell at a young age you were gifted with these abilities, or is it something that you cultivated?
Um, well, I was born with it because I used to hear angels. If I would have told my mother I heard angels when I was little, she probably would have taken me right away to a psychiatrist. But I've always heard them. I've been psychic. I was an empath since I was a child, and I was blessed with a mother who was into, back then, new age. Like, she told me when I was a teenager to wrap myself in the white light of the Holy Spirit. So she was into crystals and she was into meditation. And in my 20s, we all went to, my dad was suffering from lung cancer. So we went to a 2 weekend seminar on the Silva method. Back then it was called Silva Mind Control. Some of the audience may have heard of that. And in that training, they have a section on a healing hand. And I didn't know what that was. And they taught us how to scan each other. We worked on each other's energy field. And when I scanned people's energy fields, I could sense that there was something wrong with one of their organs, and so that's like a little medical intuitive ability I discovered that I had when I was in my 20s. And then I had this healing hand. So it all started young. And then with Reiki, the way life works, when I was a healthcare administrator, and I got laid off 2 weeks before Christmas because the practice was having some difficulty. And I took a little hiatus from physician practice management, and I went to work for a clinic, a wellness clinic that was owned by a radiologist. And she mainly had breast cancer patients. So across the hall, she had a wellness center with acupuncturists, Tai Chi, meditation, and Reiki masters. I'd never heard of Reiki, and as a gift to me and the other lady who was helping on the administration side of the wellness center, they taught us Reiki 1. And then I went on to Reiki 2 and becoming a Reiki master. So actually, I was so upset that I got fired from that job, but it was such a gift because the gift set me on a completely different path in my life, and it's been my life's work. So sometimes when bad things happen to us, something really good comes out of it.
I was just going to say it's amazing how life, when you think life is happening to you, how life inevitably works for you.
Mhm.
The lesson in the moment may be more difficult or a little difficult, but wow, what an amazing start to and fast forward to where you are now.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I love my work. It really brings me such joy to see my clients heal and their progression, and it's just really being a facilitator and teaching them how to open themselves to healing. And when people just truly open themselves to healing and trusting that their divine team, miracles happen.
Now, for the viewer that may not understand some of the lingo that we're using, when I was speaking earlier about spirit guides and you were saying teams and this, that, and the other, can you give us um, some more information to help us better understand what those terms mean and how they're beneficial to us?
Sure. All right, so what I call the divine, them higher, whoever they believe in.
Sorry about that. Okay,
That's
go ahead.
okay. So for many people, that's Jesus. For others, they just call it God. Some people call that entity source entity, their supreme being, so to speak. That entity is part of their divine team. Then it's also made up of everyone has an archangel or an angel or spirit guide that's with them. So in my Reiki practice, when I do Reiki on a client, the client's spirit guide or guardian angel makes themselves appear to me. I see them so I can tell the client who that is for them. And then many of them already know because they've had that sense within themselves that they feel like they have this support, this unseen support around them. So that's basically your divine team, your supreme being, whoever that is, your angels, and your spirit guides. And what I've learned is we are assigned a angel to be with us our entire lives. And our angel's always there for us. And our angel is not allowed to intervene in our life unless we ask for help. So it's very important when you meditate or when you're in a crisis situation to reach out and ask for help. And then they can come in and intervene and help you.
Now, how does one get to know who their spirit team is?
Through meditation, they
Okay.
can find out. You can see it in dreams, you can see it in meditation. People pray, they can feel it, or they can go to someone who does energy work to help them bring light to who that is for their client.
Now, I have to be honest, I've done a lot of meditation, I've done a lot of praying. I haven't, as of yet, gotten a clear understanding as to who my archangel is. So, Can I go to someone to figure that out? Help me figure
Yes,
that.
come see
Okay.
me.
Okay. I'm like, I may need a little extra help with that.
Okay, I have an opening next week. Come on in.
All right. Now, I'll do that. So, when you were speaking about the Reiki a moment ago and so I don't want to keep saying QHHT. So, quantum healing
Healing.
hypnosis technique.
QHHT is a lot easier.
Okay. And so, what are some of the results, the encouraging results that your clients have said they have received?
Okay, so let me just explain how quantum healing hypnosis technique is different than regular past life regression that, say,
Oh,
Brian
that's
Weiss.
great.
Okay, so what Dolores found, and we actually have a script that we read from, she gives us the words that we're to say. We bring the client to a relaxed state, and then we bring them to one or two, or sometimes three, depending on how much time we have, past lives. And it usually addresses an issue that the client is having in their present day life. Now, of course, the higher self of the client is only going to show them what they believe will be most healing for the client. But the second part is we're taught how to tap into a higher level source for the client. And the client prepares for these meetings. We tell the client they can ask up to 50 questions, and we ask this higher power being that speaks through the client all the client's questions to get answers for them. So they ask about everyone else, what is my purpose? They'll ask about relationships. They'll ask about any health issues that they're having, what the best foods are. We'll ask, the healing component of it is amazing because we'll ask that entity, the higher self of the client, to do a body scan. And the higher self goes through all the organs and all the systems of the client. And when they find something that's out of whack, they tell us what it is. And then the facilitator will say, can you fix it? And they'll say yes or no. And the no is most interesting to me because if they say no, we ask why. Because there is a lesson in the ailment of the client that the client hasn't figured out yet. So if the client is not working through, if the person isn't working through their day-to-day issues, they may get sick in a part of their body, and that part of their body is trying to give them a message. It's a lesson that they have to learn. For example, people who have issues with their knees, it means that they're not willing to move forward in their life. They're hanging on to something that they need to let go of and move forward in their life. So if they're not willing to do that, the knee issue could stay there. And if they are, then the entity can heal it. So I love the healing component being a Reiki practitioner. I did have a pretty amazing result with one of my volunteers. She put this on her YouTube channel. She had a prolapsed bladder, and she had issues with fibroids in her uterus. And we asked her higher self to heal those, and they did. And 2 days later, she had an appointment with her surgeon to get an ultrasound and get measured because she was going to have her prolapsed bladder, have surgery, and have her uterus removed. And she called and she said, my uterus, there's no fibroids in my uterus, and my bladder is back to normal. It's fine. And she was crying. We were both crying. She said that she had an organ sticking out of her body, meaning her bladder, you could see it. It was so much protruded, and it was fine. It was really, it's miraculous. She was the most miraculous case that I've had. Not everyone has had those results, but she was amazing.
I mean, that's just wow. I mean, it's not that you're you are sitting here playing medical doctor or anything, but it's just amazing how working through your emotions, getting your thoughts clear, and just really getting to the root cause of the emotional distress and getting answers,
Yeah.
clear answers from a higher source can really have positive benefits on the physical body. I love
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
She didn't need surgery. It was amazing.
and I'm sure that gave her a sense of comfort as well. I mean, because who likes to go under the knife?
Exactly. And she has three kids at home under 14, single mom. So that's the last thing she needed. But yeah, it's been pretty remarkable. Do you want to share what happened to you?
Oh, sure. I'm happy to do that. Now, I would love from your perspective, you said at the onset of this discussion that you get to see things or um, are privy to things that someone that's under the hypnosis may not see or feel or understand. So, when we worked together last year, I think the biggest takeaway I wanted to know um, was in all my life, why was it or why has it been such a struggle for me to lose weight? I think that's like the big mystery of my life at that point. And so I just remember, the superconscious saying, it's protection. And so since we've met and up until probably the beginning of this year, I really was digging away at the layers to figure out the protection portion of that. Like, what am I needing protection from? And so it wasn't until maybe the middle of January of this year that it just clicked for me from just from a health wise standpoint. And I
Mhm.
really feel like I've got that under control.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
May I add one thing?
Please.
So with weight, one is protection, and another is if someone was starving in a past life. And I had a client who's overweight and has had issues with her weight for a long time. And in one of her regressions, she was a peasant, 16 years old. She was starving and she went to the market and she stole an apple and she ate the apple, and the market people told on her. The authorities came and got her and hung her. So that's how she died. So she brought into this life this feeling. She never feels full. She always feels like she's hungry all the time, and that's something that she brought in from her past life. And since the session, she's lost over 20 pounds. It's like it's because things that are unconscious become conscious, and you
And
integrate them into this life.
and since we know that energy is never destroyed, that's something, unless you're in contact with people that do this kind of work, can make that connection of maybe that's energy coming over from a different life. And so I think, I don't know for sure, but I'm sure that could be a component as well. But I just know the protection part really resonated with me because I've struggled with that in this life, of feeling properly protected.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like you don't need that level of protection anymore?
No, I feel as if I have learned how to be my own protection instead
Perfect.
of instead of parceling it out in other people.
Mm-hmm.
I've like identified what's making me scared, and once I identified that, it's like, but you have everything inside of you to take care of that. And so then it just became an issue of getting my subconscious mind to really attach to that new narrative. And, as of now, I'm really starting to move in that more. So here's how I know this is working to you. I'm allergic to pet dander and certain pet hair. And because of that, I don't like animals around me because I don't want to deal with the consequences. And so lately, I'll say the last 2 months, pets have just been coming up to me and I just don't freak out. Whereas before, I would freak out. And so it's just like I'm super chill, I'm relaxed. And I am programming myself to say, I am divinely guided and protected. Nothing will harm me. And I just say that over and over and over. And I think, well, I don't think, I know in my being now that I am moving in that narrative and not what I used to tell myself. That I'm a victim of this, that, and the other. Those things have little consequence anymore.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Yeah, it's those affirmations, it's reprogramming our brain. It's unlearning what we learned growing up that no longer serves us. And it wasn't our truth, it was the people around us' truth. And they perpetuated their truth on us, which made us uncomfortable and sick and not able to really reach our maximum potential in life. So, as we, as you said, chisel away at it and make the unconscious conscious, and then we work on with affirmations and energy work, reprogramming ourselves to what, to our true essence, to what we truly are, then those layers start falling away and anxiety falls away and we tap into ourselves. And if we can bring ourselves joy, we're very powerful. People are more powerful than they realize. And it's true, all the answers are inside us if we just tap in and listen.
Well, I've been saying this a lot over the last several months, and that is, I just genuinely believe we are moving out of this era of looking to a leader, to usher us into something better. And now we're just in a space, and I'm so grateful for this, that we are our own leader. We are our own guru. And anytime you look outside of yourself for, guidance or answers, you're probably setting yourself up for a great disservice. And so you don't have to wait on someone to give you an answer. Anytime you need to, you can go sit down in a quiet space and go within and extract what you need. And that was one of the powerful lessons that was just really crystallized when, after I had my session with you, that I really do have all these answers. Because, you hear this and it sounds good, but putting it into real world practice just takes it to another level.
And what I love about HHT session, where the client prepares and the client can ask any question they want. And then, as I record all the sessions, because most people, they don't remember all of it, they kind of go deep. Some people, they're still conscious and they remember everything. So, from the moment the person goes into a past life until I count them out and they come back, everything is recorded. So it's about a 2 hour recording. And the client is hearing the answers to their own questions from their own voice, from their own higher self speaking through them. And the client can ask anything, any question that they want to find the answers. And they're all there.
I just remember, again, I walked into the session thinking, there's no way I'm going to get under hypnosis, but I really want to try this. I really want to give it this a go. And when you asked me my first question, and you said, "What do you see around you?" And I said, "I don't see anything. I don't see anything, but I feel like I'm floating." And I just remember when I listened to that on the way back, I said, I just felt like I was there at the beginning of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I had this physical form, but I was part of the matter. And I was just there with all the other, just looking around, seeing this vastness. And so it took me a second to calm myself down in the moment and to say, oh, this is why you're not seeing anything, because you're not anything in human form at the moment. So you went back to the very beginning.
Yeah, you were an orb of light. You were
Yes.
you were one with source energy. Yeah. Yeah. They wanted you to see that. They wanted you to feel that lightness. Yeah, I've
Well,
had
it felt amazing.
yeah, I've had other clients see lives as orbs of light, and it's just they said it's like when I had my own personal session, I didn't go back that far to an orb of light, but the people who have in my sessions, they said they've never felt anything like that in their life. The level of love that they felt from source energy, they've never felt anything like that. The connection, the lightness, like they didn't want to leave. It's like, can we go back there, please? They loved it. Yeah.
Well, I got something else, and even in this moment talking about it, it's like, after I do my sound therapy sessions, I always tell people that after my first experience, I just felt like I was floating on a cloud. And it was a similar feeling when I had my QHHT session. That very first incarnation that I went to, I just felt like I was floating. Like there was no, just, I can't describe it, but it just, there's total freedom. That's what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never experienced in this incarnation. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, um, when you are doing your work, now you work out of two states, right? So South Carolina and North Carolina.
Mhm. I'm very blessed. There's Ariel Goddard, who's an excellent hypnotherapist here. She doesn't do past life regression. She does everything else. So anxiety, depression, weight loss. I've sent some of my Reiki clients to her to stop smoking, and she's amazing. If you know anybody who wants to quit smoking, so I rent space from her by the hour. I'm very blessed, and then I have a massage therapist in the Boone, North Carolina area, and she also lets me rent space by the hour from her. So when I'm up there, I see clients in that office.
So, doing this work, and you've been doing this work a number of years, where do you see the future of energy healing going from here?
Okay, so what I'm the astrologers that I follow all say that we're moving into that with for those of you who follow astrology with Saturn with Pluto moving into Aquarius for the next 20 years, it's more and more going to be on frequency, and the future of medicine is frequency. Tesla said that way back, and Albert Einstein said that way back, because I went to one of your sound healing sessions, and you just, if you tap in, you just feel it resonating through your body. And like you taught us, each note corresponds to a different part of the body, and it's healing. You just walk out of there and you just feel so much lighter. So that's what everyone is saying, that the new way of medicine is through frequency, healing our bodies through frequency. They've been using sound healing, like the different megahertz. When if you go on YouTube and you Google yeah, megahertz healing, right? And there's these megahertz different sounds, but by what are they called? By something sounds.
Oh, binaural
Yeah,
beats?
and you can just feel it resonating through your body. And those bowls that you use, when you make that sound on those bowls, when you did it, I could feel one of them. I could feel it in my sacral chakra. And from some trauma from when I was a child, I have sacral chakra issues, and I could feel my sacral chakra releasing and vibrating just from those sound bowls. So yes, I from what I read and what I hear and what I'm experiencing, that the future and the now of healing is through frequency,
You,
energy, and sound.
I don't know if everyone can see this, but this the top of my t-shirt. This person is just floating on the sound cloud. I mean sound wave.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my experience, and that's why I have it as part of the design, because it's something you can't explain. You can't use words to really describe that feeling. And just like sitting in a sound therapy session, You see beautiful looking instruments, but they are doing some incredible work that you will just, if you give into it, if you just open and allow yourself just to relax, it takes over and does all the work for you. And I was speaking with someone not too long ago about, I think I'm going to say this right. We tend to be left brain, we're analytical. I always get it mixed up, but we tend to
That's
be
right.
analytical.
The left side is the analytical side, and the right side is the side that has all the memories and all the pictures. And that's the side we tap into when we do the past life regressions. We got to
And
tell. Dolores calls our left brain Mr. Stupid. So to take our left brain and allow our left brain to take a back seat and can observe. We're not going to shut them completely down. That your left brain can observe, but there's plenty of time later on after these sessions for your left brain to analyze what happened. But the right brain is then, if we allow the right brain to take over and orchestrate the healing, amazing things happen.
absolutely. And we spend a large part of our time teaching people how to access that part of them because we've been so socialized and conditioned to stay away from that. If we can't quantify it, qualify it, and replicate it, then it's not very reliable. And so and now this is just my opinion here. We're moving into this very spiritual age of now the right brain is going to be accessed and should be accessed
Mhm.
and used for soul evolution and just so many abundant things that are coming, in my opinion, down the pipe. I think we're just moving into a more what's the word I could use? Cooperative, compassionate um, era, and I'm excited for that. I'm here for that, and I'm doing everything I can to help prepare anybody that'll listen to me and give me the time of day. But I'm just excited for this next wave, and I know that energy healing will be at the forefront of all that, and it's just exciting to be studying that now and getting ahead of that curve.
Agreed. And actually, there have been studies on Reiki. Harvard University has done studies on Reiki. They have Reiki practitioners in their medical clinic. Cleveland Clinic, if you Google Cleveland Clinic Reiki healers, they have Reiki healers in their clinic because they have quantified, studied, and quantified the results on the patients. Their patients heal faster after surgery when they have Reiki done on them. They're more relaxed before the surgery. So there's a lot of studies now on Reiki. Hospitals are even allowing Reiki practitioners in the hospitals to help the patients. So thank goodness Reiki has become more mainstream, and big institutions are embracing and seeing the benefits of the results.
I love you saying that. Thank you so much for saying that because I've also seen in London, I think it's the Royal Academy of Orthopedics, how
Mhm.
they're using Tibetan bowls, Himalayan bowls, and putting them in each patient's room so that after surgeries they can activate the bowl and meditate with it to help speed up recovery and decrease hospital times.
Mhm.
So I love that these small but very impactful changes are coming and being implemented now. And like you, I want to see more studies and more peer reviewed research on this so that what we already know, what our predecessors already knew, is that it's time for us to reconnect to nature. It's time to reconnect to these things that people took for granted hundreds of years ago. That as this advanced civilization as we are, we're just getting back to.
Yes, all healing does not occur from a pill. There are many other ways to to heal than just by taking a pill. Pharma drugs do not, they don't get to the root cause of the issue and heal it. So basically, medication is made to just manage symptoms, so that the patient will be on the medication for the rest of their lives.
I
And
agree. It has a very beautiful place, but
yes.
we can't discount other options. And I just think we do the public a disservice when we don't embrace other healing pathways.
hmm Especially for anxiety and depression that are situational. So chemical imbalances, that's a different story. But someone who has situational depression or situational anxiety, situational grief, um, many of the natural healing modalities are more beneficial than just taking a pill for it, because it helps them release the trauma, release the sadness, work through the energies of their body, instead of just taking a pill that will just mask it. And when they stop taking the pill, the issue's still there. They're not working through and releasing what they need to. I've seen
Would
I've seen pretty amazing things in my office, and when people say they want to heal. It's I have my clients speak out loud when they want to heal. I have them say, I release, I'm ready to X, Y, and Z. So you ready? I'm ready. And then we cut the cords of whatever it is and we clear the energy and we help them release. The number one comment I receive from my Reiki clients after a Reiki session is, I feel so much lighter.
I believe it. I sincerely believe that. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, this way, but when you have a knowing of something, especially if it's something that has really caused you some discomfort or suffering, when there is a knowing that you can be rid of that, or that doesn't have to persist in your life anymore, that alone brings a level of lightness and freedom to people. I
Yeah.
know it does me.
Yes. Yeah, and it takes a lot of courage to work it through, to acknowledge the pain, to acknowledge what hurts emotionally. And sometimes those emotional hurts become physical pains because they haven't dealt with the core issue of what's really bothering them. And then it morphs into a physical ailment. I've been reading books by Gabor Mate,
Yes.
Gabormate. I highly recommend his books. And he talked about only 10, and he was a physician for many years. He talks about how only 10%, and they have studies on this from Canada. The United States really doesn't put these studies out, but Canada does, and Europe does, and other countries. Only 10% of disease is actually hereditary.
Right.
And 90% of disease is brought on by trauma and emotions and stress and sadness. So if we deal with all of that, we can heal ourselves. And he was a general practitioner in Vancouver, Canada. So he practiced many years, and he saw kids to adults to seniors. So he watched these people, very, very healthy people in their youth. And then all of a sudden, when they get a little adults, things start happening in their lives that are stressing them out. And then all of a sudden, they start contracting all these different illnesses. And he has proven with his study and his research and others that stress, as we all know, stress can really cause physical problems. So, sound healing, Reiki, any kind of body work, energy work, all that releases stress in the body and brings the body into energetic equilibrium, which then heals the body. If you remove the stress, you're healing the body.
So I have a service that I call vibrational medicine, and it's when I put the Tibetan bowls on the body strategically after speaking with the client, and they tell me some important information, and I share with them how just strategically placing the bowls along the body and the meridian points, it will bring such a profound release of stagnant or blocked energy. And Tia, I have yet to meet someone that hasn't had a release as far as crying. And it's powerful work. And it's one of the reasons why, after so many years being a mental health and substance use counselor and saying there's got to be a different way, I'm not saying better, I'm just saying there's got to be a different way to give people a release and having to talk about this day in and day out. And when I was introduced to sound healing and had my own introduction to it, me crying from the session and going, there's a release in this I didn't even know was possible, and how it gave me everything I needed just to move forward from that incredible stress to make more informed and healthier decisions about my emotional well being. I just love this work and how you don't have to wait for several sessions over long periods of time
Right.
to experience substantive relief. Now, it's up to you how you maintain it, and it's certainly your choice, but you don't have to wait however long in order to experience this feeling we're talking about.
Yeah, you don't have to go to talk for an hour once a week for years. And actually, there's another book I recommend to everybody. It's called The Body Keeps the Score.
Hmm.
And they've done their study. It's written by a Harvard psychiatrist. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but you can look it up. The Body Keeps the Score. A Harvard professor psychiatrist, and he found that actually writing down your feelings, so journaling your feelings, relieves more than talking about your feelings. Talking about, my mother was a social worker, and sometimes she'd bring home girls, like abused girls who were homeless. So we'd adopt them for a little while until my mother found a home for them. And and my mother told me it's better if they don't talk, because if they talk about it, it riles them up, right? So what this Harvard psychiatrist said is just write it all down. Don't type it on the computer with a pen, because the pen activates the brain. Write it all down. It's a transfer of energy. You're taking all that's inside you and you're transferring it to the paper. And then they recommend also you can keep it or crumple it up and throw it in the fire, right? So back to your point about how energy, it can't be destroyed, but it can be transformed. So you pull it out of you, you put it on the paper, you crumple it up, and you burn it and you release it. And it's very healing. I wanted to mention one more thing about sound healing. Now there's actually master's degrees in music therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Some insurance companies are actually paying for music therapy as a reimbursement, because they have done studies and show how much music and sound is healing and relaxing for the patient.
Yes, and I'm glad you said that because there is a distinctive difference between sound healers and music therapists. And music therapists are, they have degrees, they're college educated, graduate school educated. Sound healers, many of them are not. While I was in graduate school, it was not for music. So we tend to be more intuitive based.
Okay.
And one isn't better than the other, but I just know that sometimes in this newfound resurgence of music healing, I mean, excuse me, sound healing, I don't want music therapists to feel pushed to the side because of this new trend that's going on, because they are some they do some incredible work going in and out of hospitals, senior living centers, schools, everywhere you can think of, bringing music to people to help them heal on that level. So I want to share with you and everybody else that you and I are going to be teaming up at the end of the month on the 21st. And I'm so excited about this because I will be doing the sound healing portion of this event, and you will be doing the Reiki.
Yes. So as I will go around the room, as you are working your magic with your bowls and your gongs and all your amazing instruments, and the sound is resonating through the participant, I'll go around the room and I'll do Reiki on each person, and I'll go through each one of their chakras and help them clear the energy. So it will be so powerful because they're
Yes.
already open and resonating, and then the Reiki energy will sweep in and help clear them out. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. It'll be a truly healing night.
Yes, and they can either go to Eventbrite. There is a link on Eventbrite. And then they could either go to iamfuturefocus.com and click on Reiki and sound healing. And there's a link for that. We kept the ticket prices um, not too outrageous, only $35 for two master healers. I think that's a good deal. The power and the energy that will be in that room is just unimaginable. I'm excited and I can't wait to be there. And I just know that with everything we've shared tonight, with our experiences and your experience as a practitioner, it's going to be incredible to get a chance to bring it all together and just have an experience with this. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. First of
Well,
many, I'm hoping.
oh, absolutely. I was telling you this backstage, and that is, I really believe there is a hunger for this. Not that you want to replace any traditional um, healing pathway, but we're just in a mode of seeking and wanting to know what else is out there, what else is available.
Yeah, it's a healthy way to deeply relax and release.
I mean, how many places, A, we can go and it's all about us? It's a safe space and it's all about us and what we need. And B, where all we have to do is just relax. I mean,
Plus
I just think,
your sound symphonies are amazing. She
oh,
makes the
thank
most
you.
beautiful music, and the way she just merges the instruments, and I just love that gong. And it's amazing. It's so beautiful. And you
Well,
can feel it through every part of your body. And for the viewers out there, I referred a couple to Shenita, husband and wife, and they experienced the sound healing together. And it was just such a beautiful, relaxing experience. They were really blown away by it. They talked like I saw the husband today actually, and he told me how wonderful it was and how relaxing. They truly enjoyed it.
well, shout out to Renee and Bob. Hey, how you doing? I miss you guys. And I also want to give a shout out to my new friends, James and Khadija Dawkins. And they are also healers here in the upstate. And their business is called Essential Element. And I'm going to see if you guys can see this. This is there we go. This is a copy of their business card. Now they work out of Taylor's, and their beauty is they do the Akashic records, accessing more information about who you were and everything that comes with you. And I know I'm giving a poor description because I know very little about Akashic records, but just want to let you guys know that that's available here in the upstate as well. So we have some incredible healers here doing some amazing work. And I'm just excited to be here on the planet at such a time as this and doing, staying in my lane, doing what I know how to do, but also meeting practitioners like you, Tia, and just being able to have a session with you and then become a friend. That's been such a gift.
Same here. Thank you so much for having me tonight. And then may I talk about the upcoming online past life regression if somebody wants to just try it?
Absolutely. And also tell everyone how to reach out to you.
Okay, so I also offer monthly via Zoom past life regression guided meditations. I had one, my March event was last night. It's $20. It's about lasts about an hour, and people have participants have seen pretty amazing things. They've had some very interesting experiences, and some people just see go back to their childhood and this lifetime, and their higher self shows them and gives them information that will help them heal. And then other people go back and experience a past life. So you can find that event on MeetUp at Holistic Pathways to Healing. I'm also on Facebook. I have a group called Holistic Pathways to Healing, or you can email me at holisticpathways@yahoo.com. So my next event for past life regression, you do it from the privacy of your own home. I just guide you through it. Is Tuesday, April 25th at 8 p.m.
I'm so excited that you are just blessing us with this information, your gifts, your talents, and thank you so much for sharing that with us and for sharing your gift and light with me. I just love you so much.
I love you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So, everyone, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. I hope that you got a lot of information and just see how there are so many wonderful things going on here in Greenville, South Carolina, and the upstate and Greenville counties. You have access to so many wonderful things and wonderful practitioners like Tya and James and Khadijah. And so I just want to say good night to everyone, and I'll see you next month for our next one. Bye.
Good night.